An idyllic twilight swiftly transforms into an unsettling tale, unfolds when Amara Johnson, the courageous one, steps into the darkness. A tale unfolds as the FBI director finds himself halted by a white officer of the law, acting without cause. Yet the tale continues, laced with irony and veiled threats. And a weapon poised in the shadows of the night, the blazing embers of unfairness and prejudice. What the police officer is unaware of is that the woman he is belittling is not merely a formidable figure, yet also an emblem of "thank you for your presence, Justice." If you enjoy this content, kindly give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts. Join the channel to ensure you don't miss out, overlook the next significant tales, because tomorrow we shall embark on yet another significant journey. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow across the landscape, Amara found herself enveloped in the enchanting embrace of dusk. Johnson navigated her sleek black SUV down the road, the serene path winding back home after a lengthy journey. An ordinary day unfolds in my role as the director of a large in the heart of the FBI branch. She yearned for a warm and inviting dinner, and a few hours spent in her delightful company, my beloved book. Yet Fa had a different one. An adventure awaits her this evening, painted in shades of crimson and green lights, flickered in her wake, the image in her rearview mirror creating a mirror squinted as a siren blared, calling out to her. As she pulled over, a playful smile danced across her lips. Not from any sense of entertainment, but from with a hint of irony, she claimed she hadn't violated any traffic rules. The vehicle was moving in accordance with the regulations. The rapid flicker of her turn signals was employed with precision. Each time she turned, Amara inhaled deeply, guiding the car forward with a gentle touch. She pulled to the side of the road and came to a halt, activated the headlights to ensure all was evident, a routine deeply rooted as a black woman navigating her world America, not for a lack of faith within the realm of the law. Yet her understanding ran deeper than mere regulations at times. Those who upheld it were not just a tall white man in a figure in a police uniform, quietly approached from behind. His demeanor commanding and somewhat with a sense of unease, he rapped on Amara's car. Through the window, his gaze brimmed with doubt. Amara rolled down her window, her face serene. "And greetings, officer. How may I assist you today?" "Can I help you?" she inquired, her voice gentle yet firm. The steadfast officer, Daniel Carter, gazed intently at her for what felt like an eternity before responding to inquiries about the driver's license. "And can you share what transpired with the registration? Why did you stop the car?" Amara inquired, her curiosity piqued. Once more attempting to maintain her tone from exhibiting no sign of discontent, Daniel simply shrugged. "As you toil away, there's an air of mystery about you that piques my curiosity. I must delve deeper into this intrigue, review your documents to ensure everything is in order." All is as it should be, yet Amara wore a frown upon her face. Gaze unwavering, held an air of suspicion. "Could you provide more details?" "I don't believe it appeared that way. Feeling suspicious is indeed a legitimate reason to halt proceedings." In a twist of fate, Daniel found himself stripped of his. With a simmering intensity, his expression shifted, revealing a growing anger. "Are you? Engaging in a dispute with law enforcement is unwise. Create challenges, simply reveal your..." With a deliberate motion, Amara retrieved her license from the stack of papers, and the registration derived from the document the keeper, yet she withheld them immediately. "I recognize the law officer in myself. I understand that I possess the authority to request something of quality. Explanation if you are unable to offer it. It is in a moment of fury." Daniel brought his hand down with force on the car door, startling Amara. "Don't! Educate me on the law. I hold the knowledge. Upholding the law in this place. You are not the one to impart a feeling of suspense." As the scene unfolded, the atmosphere was charged with the sounds of passing vehicles. By the roadside, their heads illuminated by the headlights flickering and dimming. Yet no one paused to witness the unfolding events. Amara inhaled slowly, reminding herself to remain composed. This was not her first experience with this. Had found themselves in this predicament, yet undoubtedly, there was a distinct change. There was a palpable tension in the air. Daniel's gaze and officer, I halted the vehicle at your location. I have no desire to oppose this request, yet I shall not yield to the demands that lack reason. She mentioned requests lacking a valid reason, her gaze fixed intently on Daniel. Undaunted, her serenity alone appeared to vex Daniel. Who do you believe you are to speak to? I don't appreciate it when you act like you have all the answers. Hand over the papers and let's get it done. Amara, with the papers clutched tightly in her, the hand responded gently, yet with unwavering conviction. I stand as a law-abiding citizen. Officer, I trust you are aware of that. As the dialogue unfolded, Daniel's demeanor took on a more confrontational edge. He cast a beam of light through the glass-framed Amara's visage, capturing her essence in a moment suspended in time. On a quest for something, what intriguing items do you have with you? Forbidden substances, arms, individuals such as yourself? Amara sensed the lurking shadows of deceit around her. The chest tightened, the questions lingered. It was all so unpredictable, yet she was aware of it. Still, she held on tightly. Calmness. No, officer, and I don't believe you have any reason to question that. And I would advise you to refrain from insulting me, Daniel growled. I have no need for reasons to question. You and I don't require any regard for individuals such as yourself. I simply have a duty to fulfill. And if you choose not to cooperate, I shall be compelled to embark on a bold course of action. The words loomed like a shadow, a direct threat that Amara could sense perceived the circumstances unraveling beyond control mastery. Yet she would not allow fear to seize her over. Officer, she spoke, her voice steadfast. I am entirely prepared to work together if you adhere to the proper procedures. Yet it is not within anyone's power to compel me to act against my will, in opposition to my rights as the situation unfolds. As the tension builds, Amara understands that this is merely the dawn of a clash that will outlast her. Anticipated what unfolded tonight was beyond measure, more than a simple traffic stop. This was a genuine trial not only for Amara but for the justice system. She has dedicated her. The journey of defending Amara continued as she remained seated. In the car, her gaze was locked onto the police. An officer standing outside, her fingers poised, gripping the steering wheel with determination. She had encountered challenging circumstances on numerous occasions in her journey, yet she had never imagined she would find themselves at the heart of such mistreatment of power and racism. Daniel, now clearly growing increasingly impatient, he stood with his arms moved gracefully before the vehicle, his gaze brimming with, "Who do you think you are, casting such hostility? Test me, for this is not a matter of compromise, it's simple. You can choose to work with me, or I will have no choice but to take action." He proclaimed loudly that it was time to take drastic measures. His voice dripped with danger as Amara held her ground. With a steady voice, the officer reassured, I am not objecting. I am merely requesting that you adhere to the established procedure. Should you find yourself unable to present a compelling justification for ceasing, I hold the authority to decline. More. Her response ignited a fire within Daniel, stirring a tempest of frustration. He lifted his hand and directed it toward her. Amara, it's time to step out of the car now. Gazed at him for an extended moment, feeling the peril woven into each of his words and deeds, yet she remained still, refusing to budge, declaring, I'm not leaving. I don't see the point of the car without a compelling reason. With a sense of security, Daniel made his departure from this place. Closer, he rapped sharply on the car door. The voice rose, nearly a shout, urging to exit the car. That's an order. Amara inhaled deeply. She understood that pursuing his irrational commands might enhance the circumstances fearsome. She had prepared countless narrators in her journey here, and the beginning. The lesson was always to maintain composure in any situation. In this moment, I must stand firm and declare my refusal to comply with your demands. An order that defied the law, she responded, her voice serene yet unyielding. Daniel stepped back, his with a hand resting on the gun at his side. Individuals like you hold no authority to determine my presence here, the one weaving the narrative. Do you wish to witness the consequences of defying me, Amara? experienced a pang in her chest as she caught sight of his, the hand inched nearer to the weapon. This was the moment when she needed to tread lightly. One misstep, one misplaced phrase could unravel everything to unexpected. As the officer of consequences, I am documenting this moment. The whole event, she remarked, gesturing towards the device affixed to her dashboard. Each action is captured, and I shall utilize it as proof in this circumstance. Daniel smirked. Do you think it goes too far? I'm apprehensive about cameras. What can one do? As you recall, I am the one in take charge here then, as if to affirm his. With a commanding presence, Daniel drew a gun from its. He drew his weapon and aimed it directly at Amara. Through the car window, now step out of the vehicle now, he exclaimed, the atmosphere thick with anticipation. The air felt heavy and oppressive, yet Amara didn't with every move. She understood that any action she took might be misunderstood. She maintained her gripping the wheel, her gaze unwavering. Cease your actions, officer. You are in violation of the law. Officer, she spoke, her voice unexpectedly, with a steady voice, I insist that you lower your weapon. At once, this is an excessive extension of. With a disdainful grin, Daniel held his ground, refusing to back down. His gun. Don't try to be clever, girl. I mentioned this is not up for discussion. If you choose not to heed my words, I will have no choice but to resort to other means. Force Amara grasped that the circumstances had spiraled beyond his grasp was not merely an abuse of authority, but also an unmistakable manifestation of bias and animosity. She chose to reveal her final move. Gently extended her hand toward the cell the phone rests on the dashboard, a reminder to proceed with caution. Daniel observes her every move, and I am going to summon your superior, the sheriff, and I'm going to share the entire tale. Daniel found himself in a state of mild confusion, yet the firearm in his, the hand remained raised, a clear indication that permission was not granted to reach out to anyone. Without Amara chose to disregard his request. She picked up the phone, her fingers dancing over the numbers as she dialed, bringing the device to her ear. Her ear greeted with a soft hello. Allow me to introduce Amara Johnson, the visionary director of the FBI. I was stopped and treated with a lack of courtesy, assisted by an officer named Daniel Carter. Without any apparent motive, aimed a gun, and I find myself in a situation lacking any legal justification. Summon the sheriff to arrive swiftly to address this predicament. Once the call had ended, Amara gently set the phone aside, her gaze unwavering, fixed directly upon Daniel. Oh, Daniel appeared to be lost in his own world, oblivious to the sounds around him. The essence of Amara's call and what followed. What are you up to? What do you think is happening? Do you believe you can escape this without? As she listened, Amara responded, her voice carrying a gentle cadence. Steadfast, I am not seeking an escape. I am simply inquiring about something. Equity and clarity. If you fail to adhere to the law, you shall encounter the consequences, loomed as Daniel tightened his grip. At the edge of tension, the two faced each other, locked in a stalemate, the weight of the moment hanging heavy in the air. One caught in the struggle between animosity and oppressive authority, the delicate balance that exists between patience and courage. The charged air was pierced by the wail of a siren. The journey, another police car drew near, and from within the confines of the building, the police chief emerged. Daniel quivered ever so slightly, his gaze transitioning from a fierce demeanor to one of concern. The sheriff approached Daniel with purpose, his steps firm and resolute. Eyes narrowed, Carter demanded, "What the hell is going on?" In that moment, Amara stood her ground, the tension thick in the air as she faced the weapon aimed at her. "Put the gun down," she urged, her voice steady despite the chaos surrounding them. Anxiously anticipating Daniel's response, this was the moment when the truth would unfold. As the truth emerged, Daniel turned around, his gaze filled with confusion as he stood before his superior. He instantly lowered his gun and endeavored to restore his poise. "Sir, she is resisting my request." Exited the vehicle multiple times, yet she declined and even captured every moment till the sheriff issued a warning, to me furrowed brow. "Do you believe that's a valid justification? To draw your weapon, this is a grave matter. Do you understand the misuse of authority, Carter? O'Mara gracefully descended, taking her time. Through the window, her gaze was locked onto the sheriff. My good sir, I inquired of him, a compelling justification for halt my words, yet silence lingered in response instead. He menaced me and compelled me to leave the vehicle, and ultimately aimed a firearm at Sheriff Grant. Turned to O'Mara, his gaze filled with wonder as he realized the woman in the car, she is O'Mara, the FBI director, nodded at Johnson. As I made my way home, a sense of anticipation filled the air. And then slowly, yes, sir, I found myself caught in a moment that would unfold into a tale worth telling. I found myself halted without reason as I attempted to work together within the boundaries of the law. Yet Officer Carter's actions transcended mere acceptability. He also repeatedly insulted me. Grant paused for an instant, then his gaze wandered to Daniel, who appeared quite pale. Don't you acknowledge her? For she is the director of Oh Dear FBI. It seems you've stumbled into a grave error. Daniel hesitated, searching for the right words to express himself. An excuse, I must admit. I am unsure, sir. She did not submit the necessary documentation? I was merely with a deep sigh, Grant followed the procedure. His voice took on a chilling tone, a methodical approach to what lay ahead. The method enables you to aim a firearm at an individual who finds themselves in a safe situation. What the method enables you to offend and intimidate a member of the community, particularly when she... but you see, that individual holds the esteemed position of leading the FBI, my friend, O'Mara interjected, her voice cutting through the air. But esteemed sir, I have captured the entire recording. The actions of Officer Carter during the incident, each word resonates within this video. I'm not merely seeking clarity, I am seeking a thorough exploration of his deeds. Sheriff Grant inhaled deeply, seeking to steady himself. He understood this was more than a trivial matter, an error that might spiral into a significant event that would capture the interest of the media. He turned to Daniel and said, Grant, hand me your gun. Commanded, and Daniel departed with no alternative, laid down his weapon. Grant took the weapon was scrutinized for a brief moment before he tucked it away in his pocket. Then with a wave of his hand, he signaled to O'Mara, Miss Johnson, would you kindly step forward? Step out of the car, and I assure you, I will. Take care of this on my own, O'Mara consented as she opened up. As she opened the car door and stepped out, she stood with unwavering gaze. She fixed her eyes on Daniel, desire only justice and clarity. You violated the law, and I will ensure that you are responsible for your actions. Grant summoned a few other officers to join him, navigate the circumstances. With haste made his entrance, and Grant passed. Daniel approached two of his subordinate officers. Carter, you are now officially recognized. We shall find ourselves suspended from duty, embarking on a quest to uncover the truth behind your actions. Daniel tensed, yet remained still dare to resist. He murmured softly disjointed phrases, yet his gaze revealed fury intertwined with trepidation. O'Mara gazed upon the unfolding scene and found myself enveloped in a sense of sorrow that this wasn't the inaugural moment she beheld. The misuse of authority by individuals in law enforcement, consistent yet experiencing it firsthand, created. She came to understand that there remained much more to explore. A journey awaits to transform the system. Before departing, O'Mara cast a glance back. Sheriff Grant, I trust you will consider this. Truly, it's not merely due to my position as the leader of the FBI, yet due to this, it could befall anyone. No one is deserving of such fate. To be treated in such a manner, Grant nodded his with eyes brimming with regret. I grasp your feelings, Miss Johnson. I assure you that this issue will not be ignored or forgotten, or overlooked. As O'Mara departed from the scene, she experienced the weariness coursing through her body. Yet with a heart full of tranquility, she understood she had acted with integrity, not just for safeguarding herself, while also giving voice to those who found themselves without the strength to protect their own. Daniel stood resolute, a beacon of defiance against the shadows of injustice that loomed behind him. Bound and guided as the other officers observed with weary gaze, this was more than just a lesson for Daniel. yet also a powerful reminder to the whole police force. Wielding authority with great power comes the weight of responsibility, and the potential for misuse shall not be. The situation has been managed with patience. Yet the reverberations of this event will undoubtedly endure until the following day. Chief Grant swiftly commanded an internal in the unfolding narrative. Daniel Carter found himself in the grips of an investigation, leading to his detention, and compelled to respond to a sequence of inquiries about his choices. In the meantime, the board responsible for overseeing the police and additional pertinent agencies also received. Amara immersed herself deeply, transcending mere involvement. Presenting the video and offering testimony of Daniel's hurtful words, and at a press conference, she took her stand before a throng of reporters and proclaimed, "Beloved, this tale transcends my own narrative." A director of the FBI who faced unjust treatment once upon a time, there existed a tale woven from the threads of thousands of individuals in America, particularly those from diverse backgrounds who have endured prejudice for many years. I am dedicated to utilizing every ounce of my tools to guarantee that justice is offered not solely for my benefit, but for all. 2 moons had passed since the fateful event, and Daniel Carter made his official appearance in court. The courtroom brimmed with a crowd of eager onlookers, reporters, advocates for change to everyday individuals, captivated by in the courtroom. Daniel's lawyer endeavored to explain his actions as an impulsive response amidst the chaos. However, the video unmistakably reveals that Daniel was not faced with danger, yet he wielded his strength to cast shadows upon the innocent and instill fear. Citizen Amara found herself summoned to the stand, ready to share her tale. She stood tall, exuding confidence, yet her expression remained resolute. Narrated the whole event from the beginning, stopped unexpectedly, facing the weapon as he pointed at her. Not only did he misuse his authority, he also harmed the community trust in the judicial framework. Amara expressed that if we permit this kind of conduct to carry on, the framework we depend on to guarantee that justice transforms into a powerful tool of oppression. Following days of contemplation, the jury delivered their decision regarding Daniel Carter. Faced conviction for the misuse of his authority, prejudice that threatens the journey of someone else, and transgressing the principles of the police force, led to his sentencing to 4 years behind bars as the decision was rendered. Daniel, with a lowered gaze, murmured silence as the courtroom erupted in cheers for many. This was not merely a triumph for fairness, yet also a progression advancing in the battle against discrimination. The situation surrounding Daniel Carter served as a pivotal moment of realization. Appeal not solely to local law enforcement, but also for the whole nation. Gatherings of knowledge and insight and preparing efforts on anti-racism and the principles guiding conduct within law enforcement were conducted on a grand stage, much like an epic tale unfolding with the FBI at the center of it all. The director seized this moment to advance. In her quest for reform, she engaged in discussions with lawmakers, champions of the community, and passionate advocates explore fresh approaches to guarantee that no one in law enforcement may misuse their strength. This journey transcends the desire for vengeance, Amar declared during a press conference that this is an important truth. With power comes the weight of our duty compels us to create. A fair society is composed of individuals who are meant to. Those who shield us are often the ones who cause us pain. Gratitude for that insight, for dedicating a moment to hear this. Once upon a time, if this content resonates with you, please share your thoughts. Tap that like button and join our community by subscribing to the channel, so you won't overlook the next significant tales to share, for the dawn brings new adventures. Here's another tale filled with significance for you.